Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Azem, featuring Jade, Gwenny Gwen, CPL, Idita Johnson.
Morning.
Y'all hear that burst of sunshine coming from my producer right here, Jade? Oh my gosh, it must be Monday.
Yeah.
It must be Monday.
Monday kinda not being my favorite day today. Yeah.
Monday kind of tense for you right now?
Well, see what happened was, you know how they do this thing where when somebody passes away, they put ribbons on the door.
Yeah.
So I forgot that they do that, and then I saw my uncle's door this morning. So like that completely.
Yeah. Back certain feelings back to the surface.
Boy.
Yep.
I was standing outside by the door just crying because somebody, wasn't here to let me in, so had to cry in the sun. Yeah. Yeah. So I go sometimes. Better to cry in the sun than in the rain.
We have life.
As we do.
But yeah, I mean, that's been something that's been discussed in all sorts of forums all over the place.
Trust me, it is very difficult to to not want to think about something, and you go
everywhere you turn, it's like you're right there.
Yeah. It's literally just right there. I mean, it's wonderful to see people celebrating his life though. Like, I was reading some of the stories and looking at some of the pictures. My uncle was a hot man in his young days, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
See a picture in a suit there, boy. I said, what?
Okay.
Had them ladies going crazy, I'm sure.
Vibesy.
Yeah, man. Could just tell, you watch certain pictures that you see some way back.
Yeah. You could tell what the energy. You could tell what the energy was.
I just know, boy.
Like, okay. Every generation have the term for the hot boys of the day, right? Like, I remember at one point,
it
was S-Man.
Yeah.
What is now?
That's a good question.
I have a term for it.
Wait, what do you think?
I mean, I can't really say it on the radio. Oh. Like, I think, this is where I was going with it. So, I've heard the term Macadao. I've heard the term Saga Boy. Like, this is way back.
Oh, okay. I'm like, nah, these are so ancient.
Yeah, this is way back. So coming up, but even though we all knew what they meant, it was a bit.
It is no way.
The one that's coming to mind for me right now signals a change in just in society and how we look at certain things. I think the one that
you usually call y'all who was?
F-boys.
Oh, yeah, man. I forget about that. See, we don't really use that in Caribbean, so I don't...
I'll tell you something.
Term.
No, I'm going to tell you something right now.
Really?
I'll tell you something right now. Because of the proliferation of memes and, like, everybody being on social media, the language I'm hearing from, like, is very much synonymous with American, like, with the American dialect.
We watch too much TV.
Watch it.
We consume too much Americanized content from YouTube to TV to
Actually, I think most
Facebook.
of it is social media.
So I just about to say social media as well.
Instagram memes.
The funniest hell though.
The problem is that it's very difficult to separate at times when people are joking and when they're not joking. And at the same time, I believe as much as something might be funny, it don't mean that people don't subscribe to it.
Bye.
In reality.
Ask Dave Chappelle about that, bye.
Dave Chappelle cool. Dave Chappelle good.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, he's a perfect example because I watched some of this. I didn't get to complete it because of the wreck of a week I had last week, but
Yeah.
I watched some of it and then I saw the backlash and I was like, okay, I mean...
The backlash, and the thing about it is, like I tell people, if you have not watched it till the end, then don't judge it.
Some people don't watch it at all. They just go by what people say on social media, which is what they do a lot. Anyway.
And which is why I champion comedians.
Bye.
right? And when I say comedians, I'm talking about people who engage in the comedic art form. I mean, talking about people who are humorous or people who are funny or
So
people
you
make
mean
people
me?
laugh.
You ain't me then?
No.
Okay. Just make sure.
Because I believe that comedians have a very important role in society. Right? And I think what happens is that most people don't recognize the role that the comedians play. They think that comedians' job is to make you laugh. Like, that's not what comedians' role in society is.
I mean, that's...
No, no. Laughter is a tool that they use to do the job. Just like a carpenter is a hammer. Right? So comedians' jobs are to broach topics that are difficult to discuss by using humor, right? Satire, right? So their job is to foster conversation within society that otherwise would either be taboo, right? Difficult, offensive. Like, that's their job. So that's a skill. So yeah, I could take up a hammer and a saw and I could cut something and I could pong a nail. But somebody who's skilled with using those tools would be able to build a house, cupboards, right?
You sure can, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what.
It wasn't planned. It was not planned.
Morning, Witty. But yeah. So Dave Chappelle is one of the people that stands in. He's a champion for comedy.
Yeah, bye.
He's a champion for comedy. He understands his role in society, and he will not allow anybody to put him in a position where he's not able to purely operate in the art form.
As he should.
Right.
As he should.
And I think the thing is, right, the reason why he's a comedic genius is because, for instance, like me, I have the exact same thoughts, right? I've said some of them here, right? Like, but there's
nobody was outside with them pitchforks and so.
No, not even that. I'm just saying, like, he can verbalize it and articulate it in a way that I would never be able to. He's a genius, right? He's a genius. Like,
I mean, you ain't too bad yourself, but you know, I catch what I mean.
Yeah, like there's like, and this goes for all the great comedians, right? And the ones that I tend to like, I think we spoke about our favorite comedians here already. And I said, like, Dave Chappelle is mine. We've spoken about it right here on the show.
I was there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember, okay, I'll tell you how you remember. Remember I said I wasn't one of them for like Kevin Hart or whatever.
Oh, yeah. We did. I was like Cat Williams. Yeah.
So I said that ain't, like, I understand what they do. It just don't really appeal to me. But, like...
oh, yeah, you did say Dave Chappelle is... Okay, I remember.
Right.
It's coming back. Okay. That was my thinking brainwaves.
What? Okay. Okay.
But you say you're not too bad at your comedy. Or you're not... No, you're being a genius. You ain't too bad. That's what I mean. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a comedian.
No.
I'm not a comedian. But
just bright and say what you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But, like, it's important. Like, I think it's important that we have the people in society who are willing. And I think I said this here as well. Like, of being offensive is necessary in society.
Okay.
Yes, it is. That's the only way we could.
No, I disagreeing.
Yeah, but that's the only way that society could move forward on certain topics.
You know what's funny? I was listening to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F yesterday, right? Well, last night. And these are some points that he was hitting. Like, we have become such a society where we are afraid to make anybody feel bad. We have to cuddle everybody. Like, we give out participation trophies. And
it's ridiculous.
It's like, what? Come on. We are making a very different kind of generation.
But what happens when people... What happens when people can't put aside their own personal... let's say touch points, is that you end up in a society where conversations can't be broached.
Yeah, because
without conversation, without communication, then how can we move forward? How can we have understanding?
We don't. So we just.
And then the thing that bothers me is the selective outrage. So, so for instance, like if you are somebody who preaches, like, and I tell you already, I'm very much against cancel culture. Like I've said it here, like we've had the discussion. But if you are one of the people who are like, hey, when people offend you, then you have done something wrong and bad, and so there must be punishment because you were offensive, then I don't understand where you are unable or incapable to see a lot of times how your own biases then cause offense to other people and feel nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's usually how humans work.
that's crazy to me.
That
like,
is a literal human being you just described.
So like that is why we are all at risk of being offended, and we are all offensive.
Cause
we are all offensive.
I don't think some people try to be, but you could never tell we're going to offend somebody. Like, I'm not saying willful. Well, I'm not talking about people who being willful, but like you could never just tell we're going to offend somebody. So like walking around trying to not be offensive all the time ain't going to work, because that's not how the world works.
I think what happens.
We have to be offensive.
I think what happens is that, and it's not being offensive for offensive sake, right? If you're, for instance, if I have a neighbor, right, and I know my neighbor has certain views on let's say music, right? They have young kids, whatever. They live their life a certain way, and they come to me and be like, hey, like, all that music I be playing like loud on Sunday morning and thing. Like, I'd appreciate it if you could turn it down, right? And they explain to me like, yeah, the truth is like, I'm trying to raise my kids in a certain way, boom, 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 and the truth is that your decisions to play music loudly, like, it literally enters into my home. Like, yeah. So I'm asking you for whatever, right? No, it might not have been you might not have been trying to offend anybody, like, but that is one of the things that I realize people does always just be like, "Baminki." Right? So I think a lot of the times it has to do with intent and understanding. Like, so at the same time, when you are aware that offense is necessary, right? It can't then give you a license to just be offensive for being offensive sake.
Like Witty?
Yeah. Oh my God.
She literally just said that.
Yeah. Wow.
She beat you to it.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, Witty said she literally offensive for offensive sake.
Yeah, like,
you're talking about her technically.
Yeah, so my thing is like, so there must be understanding, there must be respect. So in other words, if there's offense without respect, then that's just cause for
disrespect.
Well, not that disrespect, but confrontation. It's just breeding confrontation, and it's not positive confrontation. It's just drama and strife and negativity all around. Right? Like, you just need some. In other words, I could say something offensive to you that I don't think you should be offended by. No, I don't get to be the one to decide why you should be offended.
And that's another thing, people want to decide what is offensive to other people. You can't do that. Like, you cannot decide if I tell Azim he locks them ugly, that is not offensive to him because I didn't mean anything. And we like to quell things by saying, well, me mean it that way and I didn't mean nothing by it, but it don't matter what you meant, it's how the person feels.
Right, but then at the same time, I don't believe that the way that somebody feels should be the only dictator of what is or how something is taken. So how you feel, it shouldn't be the only thing. There's some people you're telling good morning and they want to jump down your throat.
Bye.
So I should.
How you not having a good morning?
No, like, literally. Literally, I've walked by. This happened the other day. I told you about this. I literally tell somebody thanks and they think I flirting with them.
Yep. Well, you kind of a flirt, so like I could see how that could happen.
All I said was thank you.
Yeah, but it's the tone you use.
What?
I don't know. I'm just.
and started getting riled up because apparently, like they thought, and then when I asked them, I said, "It seems as though you think I was coming on to you. That's not the case." And they go like, "No, it never crossed my mind."
Didn't it? Okay.
So what I'm saying is, your feelings alone can't be the only thing that dictate
No,
this.
some people feelings different.
So what we have to do is seek understanding, right? Seek understanding, because, for instance, there's nothing that he said that was offensive given the entirety of his presentation.
No.
So if you take a clip, like I could say one word that is like offensive, right, to some group or somebody, but that don't. Like just the word itself could be, but you don't know what the context was.
And that's what it comes down to a lot of the times. That's why I say, like, some people didn't even watch the special. They just read something on social media, no context, no sub-clues, no nothing, and just was like, oh, he offensive, cancel him. Like, bro, what? Y'all ain't even...
But we need to protect those among us whose job it is to push conversation forward. We have to protect those people. Like,
I don't know
vehemently.
I don't know when we turn into this thing. It's not working. It's not working. That will not
everybody
benefit
get too
us
smart.
in the future.
Everybody get too smart.
It's because we got phones and internet.
But to me, everybody getting dumber with them things. But anyway.
Well, you can't tell them that. See, that is offensive as him.
Yes, but it may also be true.
It is true. It is actually the truth.
Yeah, so, like, you can't be afraid. I think what happens too is that we get into a point where truth, or the search for truth, is somehow tapered and quelled because of the fear of being offensive, and that is what's dangerous.
You see, and that's why I like DuPont. Because
what
you mean?
What we get here?
Because that is one man.
What we get here? I haven't been able to listen to
Boy, that is one man that don't try to.
Wow.
He does not try to quell the truth. He does not try to hold his tongue. Eager. I think this is why, you see, this is why I feel like a lot of these people resonate with our culture. Like, there's still people who aren't afraid to speak their minds.
See,
granted, not everything we're gonna agree with her, because that's not how it works.
My problem is that. Well, not a problem. What I have an issue with in Caribbean culture is, right? And it might be just because everything is so steeped in politics, that everything has this political tinge to it. In other words, okay, think about it this way.
Yep.
Think about it this way. Name the persons in our society, right? Who function in the way you just was describing with, like, DuPont and Ike and so. Who are at least perceived as being non-political. Let me say
nobody.
Okay,
nobody.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't even. There's nobody.
And the thing is, and the sad part about it is, even you happen here with us, like,
you forget. I just about to say,
even if you try to be, even if you're just being objective about some topic or whatever. Like, for instance, like, I was having a conversation with a friend last night about the stealthing issue.
Wait, what?
Stealthing.
What I mean?
All right, for those of you who don't know, I think it was California passed a law outlining stealthing, which is no, but it's I guess it's stupid, but it's serious. Which is, if a man, while intimate with a woman, removes the condom without her consent, that is called stealthing.
Oh no, them never go to jail.
But it's not a civil matter, so you'd have to sue the person. And then the thing is, just half are you close with, like, broke people? Like, I can't, if you ain't got nothing, you can't get sued. It's winning and do nothing.
To jail.
No, but
they can't go jail.
But the problem with that is, right, Jade? This is just another one of those things where really and truly, you can just be weaponized.
Why? Because
No, Jade, because if you go to the police and say, I stealthed you, like, and I say no, I can just automatically is assumed that I lying and
just I don't think so, because most times in cases like these, they usually don't believe the women right off the bat, man.
Jade, what are you saying? We're at a point right now where if you somehow question the woman's position, you are to you then cancel you.
They can't cancel somebody that they don't know. Yeah, that might happen for famous people.
No, I'm talking about famous people. I'm talking about generally.
No, that don't.
There is a belief. There's a belief. No, I'm saying is there's a thing running through society right now where it's no longer like when it comes to especially sexual issues, because it's so sensitive and touchy, right? The innocent until proven guilty thing don't really apply there. You believe. You don't want to victim blame. There's all these terms that tell you this is the society.
I can't a man walking around right now.
But they're not walking around because people didn't believe. Like, a lot of times what's happening is things are being handled outside, reports are not being made. Those are the issues. That is a huge, huge issue. But in terms of going to the thing and saying, hey, such and such and such, generally, especially in the US where this thing is happening.
Oh, because this year had to be US, because I'm like, this ain't sound Caribbean at all. Like, being believed in the Caribbean is not like that at all.
Dude, I don't know if it's not being believed. I think it's a reluctance for people to take it to the level that it should go to.
That could be true.
I think that's why it is. I don't think it's that people don't believe. Like, if that's the case, you wouldn't be here saying, oh, I know people walking around XYZ. No, because we believe the people. The problem is that we don't.
People to not believe at this point, to be honest.
Right. So my thing is that it's not about people somehow believing that the girl using a weapon. No, it's just a matter of the processes. A lot of people either don't want to deal with it, or it gets dealt with outside, or they say they make up the case, or it gets settled with some money. All these kind of things is what has happened. I don't know if it's a matter of that, but what I'm saying is that you have like the issue like that, and I feel like it's okay. Let me put it this way: what is the equivalent like for men in like what we could sue women over?
Theft, child support.
The same things that they could sue us over.
Yeah, basically. Sexual assault is just.
That's when you know you ain't gonna believe no. That's when the non-belief come in.
No, man, I feel like we get into
Jade, you want me to ask the sergeant? If you go like,
I got a question for the sergeant because I saw a picture yesterday. Sorry. Let me show you. Because I have some questions.
Don't we all?
But that's not. You know what? Wrap up.
Yeah, but guys, like, I think we have to deal with people with love and grace and respect. As well as sometimes you can't let people and their speech, I mean, talking about actions, especially talking about speech, especially when it's not directed specifically towards you, steal your happiness and your joy and your peace. We need to stop giving people access to our peace and our joy and our happiness.
Amen and amen.
Anyway.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break and be back with traffic talk because we have some questions. Stay tuned.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow's secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never, so why all the hurry? Mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving, this nonsense needs to stop. Stop. I'm making it my business to alert all motorists, especially those who love to break traffic laws. I have seen what speed can do. Here I am to your rescue to help you to live. Just take this advice.
Good morning, and welcome back to Win Media SKN in Ireland T. And we're here with Sergeant Brown from the Traffic Department for Traffic Talk. Sarge, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. I'm doing good. How are you?
Things good on my end. Jade? Okay, Jade is doing well as can be expected.
Okay.
Right, but you know, how has things been on the roads this past weekend?
Well, this past weekend, we had a couple, but nothing to really talk about. Accidents.
Oh, Lord.
No serious accidents. No loss of life, fortunately. No major accidents, but we just had the minor ones that here and there. So, one comment the motoring public for driving. I mean, with Juki, I believe they are taking heed. They are taking a warning that we need for them to drive with due care and attention, because they're not driving just for themselves. They are driving for other road users. So we want everyone to be mindful of that. So,
all right.
Good morning again. Good morning to all the listening to Post Public, to everyone out there in Radio Land. And my name is Sergeant Brown, and I'm from the Traffic Department. And it's good to be here again, once more, with our weekly edition of Traffic Talk. This morning we should be having a guest, but for some reason that person has not reached us yet. So we'll continue until such time.
Well, I guess before your guest gets here, I just,
Sound like you have a burning question.
Yes, it's been on my noggin since yesterday.
I could feel it, I could see it, I could feel it, I could sense it. So what's on your mind today?
I just want a little, insight into what may have happened. Was it yesterday with the traffic accident with the police vehicle?
Oh, yes. That unfortunately there was a traffic accident along the Frigate Bay Road. In the vicinity of the roundabout, at the first roundabout. But I would not want to jump into it. I wouldn't want to go into any details. That matter is under investigation, just like any other
I see where they send you here, I see where they send you here.
No,
but I mean, what I can say is that the vehicle would have been traveling towards coming from Basti direction, and unfortunately it got into an accident, and the lone vehicle accident. So no one lost their life, fortunately.
Okay.
So we are glad for that. We are hopeful.
So it was going towards Frigate Bay.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
interesting.
I wouldn't really want to.
Thickens.
Excuse me.
So will we get an update on this? No? Okay. Well.
Well, as I said, as per usual, I wouldn't. It's not proper for anyone, whether it be me or anyone, to speak or go into any great detail of anything that is on the investigation.
No, I'm talking about it when the investigation is finished.
Sure.
Do we expect an update?
Of course you will.
Brother,
Oh,
see,
okay.
this is the thing now, right?
Yeah.
I am getting to the point where if I'm ever in a situation
Yeah.
with a significant other that is very uncomfortable, and just say, it matters on the investigation.
You're going to get him a Sergeant Brown.
It just always to just keep the ball in play, Keep the ball in play.
Yes. Well, I want to just jump to the. Of course, sure. Yeah. Do we have a caller?
Yeah, we have somebody actually
Okay, let me-
join the conversation.
Sure, of course.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Yes. Good morning, moderators, and good morning, Sergeant Brown.
Good morning, sir. I have not heard this
Yes,
voice
it-
for quite a while.
Yes, man. That doesn't mean that I'm not listening.
Okay, man. Good.
Let me give you my number. PWOP.
PWOP. I have that written down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's something I want to ask you. When we make certain kind of reports, right?
Yes.
I know you are a good listener, and you make notes of what we said.
Sure.
But do you get to the person or people who are responsible for solving the problem that we talk about?
Of
For
course.
instance,
I always try my best to do some follow up. Yes.
you're my good friend, you know. I know you don't try your best.
Yeah.
Now, 1925 Kano.
19.
You know where that is because it's close to home.
Yes.
You know there is a tree that is growing on the barrier wall that prevent vehicle from going on in the gut. I spoke about this some months ago on a traffic program, and the tree is still there. And the reason why I'm talking about it again, you call those kind of things the accident coopers. It is coping to put somebody in accident because it impairs the driver that's coming from Challengers were coming to Ibastio. It impairs their vision to see clearly who is coming from the east end around the bend. And this is a tree that it grows on the wall. They don't grow in the dirt. And that should not be there. So I'm calling now that you could forward the report to the people who are responsible for keeping the vision of the road clear. There should be a group of people go out to make sure that there is no obstacle to block drivers, road users from seeing clearly where they are going. And if there is anybody out there who get that job to do that, they need to get up and do their work. Because they're getting paid, whether by week or month. And they ain't going to leave the month pay till the next month pay. So I don't see why they should leave things like these here out there until somebody gets in accident. Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All the
caller. I made a note of that, and definitely I will look into it. Yeah. Good morning. We are joined by Mr. Gilbert. He's no stranger to us, Mr. Gilbert, from the senior official from the Public Works Department, and he's here with us. He definitely would have some important information for us. So, without any further ado, good morning, Mr. Gilbert, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, my colleague. Good morning to all those in Radio Land, TV Land, on whatever platform you are listening, looking at this program. I want to say a pleasant good day to you. My name is George Gilbert. I'm from the Public Works Department. I came this morning to update you on the road work. The rehabilitation of the Island Main Road, it started in 2019 with the first 5 kilometers going east in terms of from the airport roundabout, give and take, going to Keys, and then from the Buckley's roundabout going to Bloody Point, Challengers, going that side. Now, 5 kilometers on each side. Then, that was phase 1. Then phase 2 now was the rest of the Island Main Road, including going through Bastille, Keon Street, Wellington Road, etc., etc. Phase 1 has been completed. Phase 2 is very near completion. The outstanding works in Phase 2 is signs, traffic signs to be erected, the marking to continue, and there are 2 other areas which we want to look at. We did a traffic count at the airport roundabout recently as in just before COVID, this last COVID. And what we realized that the traffic has increased there about 25% over about a 2-year, 3-year period. So every morning, including this morning, no exception, the lane coming from Connery End, going into Bastille, the Central Bank, I'm actually backed up for about over a mile. I was in the traffic this morning, it just backed up this morning for over a mile. You are at the Canada coming in, and you're in a very slow moving traffic, and it went right up. I thought the police was on the road, but the police wasn't on the road. It was just the lane was blocked. Now, one of the according to the traffic law, that wherever the Director of Public Works sees it fit or necessary to widen the lane, he has a right to do so. So as such, we have actually did a design for the opening of that particular lane, so that at least when you come, you don't have to line up one behind each other to get out there. You can, those who go into Kim Collins can keep left, and those who go into downtown will be right. So both of you will be adjacent to each other, and then when it is clear, then both of you can move at the same time. Currently, what happens is that the lane is so small that it accommodates one line of traffic right in the junction there. And as such, the traffic backs up for a thing. There are times too where sometimes a truck might cut out right in that junction there, and it just causes a chaos for the morning for people to get out, especially the cars. The Jeeps and the pickup might be able to bump the curb wall by the what's the park?
National
Heroes Park, and then bump the wall and get around. But the cars and some might just can't do it, and just frustrated in the traffic. So that's one of our objectives in completing the Island Main Road. And next one is by the movies coming back into the breweries there. That area there, if you realize, we mark both sides, but we didn't mark the center. Wherever the center is not marked, it means that it is less than the standard size, so you can't divide it. As such, we intend to increase the road within that area there. There have been many traffic accidents in that area there.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you're coming through there very slowly and somebody just rub on you. So we intend to open that lane there. But what we are looking at going to the brewery side, to the south, we have had discussion with the breweries, and I think the matter is at the board level. We intend to accommodate them in whatever way possible, so that at least we can get the piece of land a few feet, so that we can actually open the lane there, so that at least we can flow freely. But what happens is that the traffic is increasing. Every 2 weeks there's a car boat here in St. Kitts. And in not taking cars, it's actually dropping off cars.
Wow, yeah.
And then,
money.
And then you find that because of the increase in the traffic, you find we have to make adjustments to the road where we see fit. So initially, a road might have been designed, and then you realize because of the volume of traffic, it has gone its size. So then therefore, you have to make adjustments as you go along. And the act gave us that power to do that. Next thing we want to look at is the Old Road Bay. The Old Road Bay is really getting to a completion stage, and you can see it, you can appreciate it, and I think what you need to do is to stop on the seaside, come out of your vehicle, go at the rocks and look at the work which has been done. And we must commend the contractor and the government for the job which they are actually doing. The contractor almost completed the rock work. He's about 85% of the rock work in that area. I was told that he has all the rocks minded now, and it's just for him to come and place the rocks there. Then when he completes the rock there, he will actually do some realignment by the Spratnet area. So what will happen is that we will actually remove part of the Spratnet fence, and actually realign the road so it could merge into the old road smoothly, a smooth transition from one into the other. And that's what we are working on. Then there is some snags, remedial works to be done on the surface itself. That has been looked at, and we are going to address that before Christmas. I think I'll stay there for now.
All right, lots happening. Lots happening.
Yeah, so somebody is saying the road next to, that portion of road directly behind Washi needs widening as well.
Hmm?
You mean at Taylor's?
Yes, at the Washington Archibald School.
You mean?
The concrete road that runs
Taylor's,
east to west.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Gilbert, while we're at it, we've been bombarded there at the traffic department as to when the lights.
Okay.
Could you give us an update as it relates to that, please?
The lights.
Yes.
The lights, we are in the second phase of the lights, and all the masts are mounted. All the poles are in place, the cabinets are in place, the underground cables and sensors are in place, but only one area we're having a challenge with, that's the Boardwalk intersection. That's where Boardwalk and the Bay Road intersects right there. At that intersection there, we have a property owner, a business owner, who expressed some concerns, and we are looking at that concern and see how best we could address that. One of the things we have decided that we wouldn't let that hinder the opening of lights. We were waiting for it, but it seems to be taking longer than what we expected. So we are going to turn on the others and then actually leave that one there for last to turn on. I don't think it will affect it really. So we're going to put the mechanism in place to turn on the others and leave that one until we settle that matter there.
Is there a tentative time for when you guys may turn on the other lights?
I think we want to do it before the end of the year.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
The end of the year is like next month, no?
A little more than that.
Okay, well, I guess we can wait to see, but I just feel like, we've been waiting on the lights for
I know.
a long time.
I'm aware.
So hopefully, as you said, by the end of... Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
but guys, we actually have a caller. So caller, good morning. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning, gentlemen and lady.
Good morning.
Yes. What you have highlighted insofar as the traffic congestion is concerned seems to suggest that there's a need for a bypass for the bypass, so to speak. Well, two actually. One, another route that goes to Frigate Bay. The current route through Connery, yes, there's one, but to be quite honest, it's not driver friendly. You reach Half Moon Bay and it's just crazy. Maybe the public works can look at improving that road, that section of road, so it becomes more usable. And the same can be said for the road over at Potato Bay. If you have different access routes into Frigate Bay and the peninsula, where quite a lot of people work and live, I think, might help with the congestion at the roundabouts. And secondly, if there's a bypass from, let's say, around the Connery area, just above the airport runway, to go to St. Peter's, I think that would help as well. And similarly, there is an absolute necessity for a road from St. Peter's to the western side of the Island Main Road, by passing the roundabout thereby that goes down into Greenland. That's another crazy intersection that needs to be looked at. Okay, and finally, yes, it's good to have these new roads, but don't forget to maintain the old ones. Notice, for instance, that quite a bit of the striping from when the road project actually started, let's say going to Frigate Bay, the roundabouts, etc. Those are now worn. The cat eyes have all been dislodged. A lot of them have been dislodged. And it really makes a difference when those things are properly done, so that, especially at night, okay, it really makes a difference. So I just suggest that you take a look at the maintenance aspect of things, okay, and look at the verges in particular, because I notice a lot of, when it rains, there's accumulation of water on the roadway, even the new ones, and this makes the life of the road certainly less. Okay, you know, no, water and asphalt don't mix, and so if the verges are well taken care of, so that there's good runoff, I think the road would last much longer. Okay, then.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You want to reply to that, or because I have a question as well. So there's this missing part of a sidewalk. That Sundown Road, you said?
Yeah, that's Sundown Road, just above the junction of Sundown Road and Pan Road.
Yeah.
It's actually just out, and it's against the wall of the fire station. It looks like to me.
Yes. There are two cones there, but those cones can't do anything. Like there's a literal missing piece of the sidewalk.
Yeah, it looks like one of the slabs, the concrete slabs,
has fallen in completely.
Broken. Yeah.
And it's been that way for a couple of weeks. Because I saw somebody post about it in September, and no, they posted about it again 3 days ago, so it still hasn't been fixed. So I feel like for safety reasons, that should be like
a priority. Okay. Thank you.
But guys, we actually have somebody else trying to join the conversation. Good morning, you're live on Traffic Talk. Oh, lost a caller.
Caller, feel free to call back, please.
Any more? Okay, no, you guys can go ahead in the meantime. Oh, we have another one. Lots of people have been waiting to talk to you guys.
Good morning, caller, you're live on Traffic Talk.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I was trying to get in, but we had some problem with the phone line. But these two questions are for the officer there.
Sure.
You were saying, one, that when you see the flashing lights, you should pull over. But I'm thinking that the law speaks to siren. One, you could confirm it if I'm wrong. And you were making a suggestion about making the road going into Care, Upper Care, one way. And you were saying that the waterworks you should enter it from, but I'm thinking that we should enter it from the other one, because that's the only access to Upper Care coming from town. And then you should make, if you want to do a one way, you should make that one going up, at the waterworks end, because you can always get into Upper Care from the other end, from different directions. So I think you should look at that.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, caller. Yes, and I want to thank you very much for those 2 pointers. The first one you would have mentioned about the siren and the flashing light. Yes, the siren most of the time goes with the flashing light. So either or. You see the flashing light, you hear the siren, you pull as close to your left as possible.
This is for the ambulance or the police vehicles?
Both.
Okay, but
It seemed to me like the police vehicles, like a lot of them, the lights be on all the time.
yes.
Yes, that is correct. But if you see the light and you're not hearing the siren, it does not really mean that you shouldn't at least allow the vehicle to go through still.
So you know that they shouldn't use this as a means to bypass people when they
No,
go to emergency, right?
It shouldn't be used.
So then why not do it?
I can't speak to that.
It just feel like I actually understand at one point if they could lock off.
I hope that our officers are not using it.
You hope what? Okay.
I hope that our officers are not using it just to, as you would have mentioned, just to get ahead on their journey. But it should be used just for for one patrol and emergency purposes. And also the caller would have mentioned about the roads in Keyon that we are thinking about making one way. And I'm glad that you would have called in. As you would have heard me say last week, that we will be in the Keyon area to consult with the community as to which is the best way forward. It is not that what we would have said is written in stone. We will be consulting with the community and make sure, and we'll be making sure, along with public works as well, to make sure that what we will have in place and what we will be discussing will be the proper way and the best way. So thank you very much, caller. Yes, Mr. Gilbert, sometime on the weekend, we would have seen some work, the water department at the Boardwalk Junction, and the water department seemed to they were doing some work there sometime on the weekend. I'm not sure if you're aware of it.
I'm not fully aware of what they were doing, but I know that they had some work to remove some pipe work up there.
Then,
so apparently they take the opportunity on the weekend to do that.
Okay. You see, sometimes it's always best that, because we sometimes get questions.
Okay.
I mean, we are, person will be calling into the department as to, officer, what happened in... So,
okay, I see.
So we want to thank you very much for always giving us readily feedback. So thank you very much.
All right, guys. Well, I guess before we wrap up, is there any final words before we move forward?
Yes. I want to thank the general public for their patience with us, with the construction, reconstruction, rehabilitation of the Island Main Road. It has been long. It has been tedious. It has been dusty. It has been a number of inconveniences. We want to thank you for your patience, for your understanding, and your cooperation in that effect. I know some areas really had it bad. When the COVID first hit, we were in St. Paul's, and we had to leave it as is because we didn't know what COVID was like. And the place was dusty there. We asked the truck to go on wet now and then, but the guys didn't want to go out because, COVID was the first time around and everything. But we encouraged them to go on wet from time to time. And the people of St. Paul, we want to thank you for your understanding. Same thing happens in Sandy Point too. When we were ready to start working in Sandy Point, COVID came and we had to shut down again, and it was dust after dust. It was drier. And it seemed to me during the COVID time, it was just dry and dusty. So we had to get the area wet for the people of Sandy Point. So we want to thank you for your patience and your understanding and your cooperation. And there's a good lady from the Old Road who actually, we went to Old Road and we told the people of Old Road that to move the cars from the road so that they can mark the road. And she went around physically in the morning and actually asked the people to move their vehicles. And so I want to thank her specially for being a part of Public Works and for working with us to ensure that the work was done. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Gilbert, for coming in this morning and sharing with us those useful information. And I want to thank you, the listening audience, for being a part of the program, which is every Monday morning right here on Win FM, 8:30 a.m. So continue to be a part of the program, and we look forward to be here once more next week, God's space. So continue to be good, drive safely, not just for yourself, but for all other road users. So until we meet again, have a safe and productive day, safe and productive week ahead. So bye for now.
Thank you.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down, down, down.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Be a hero. September is the month of heroes in St. Kitts and Nevis. And for the months of September to October, Hosford's Automotive wants you to be a hero too. Yes, drive like a hero at the massive Hosford's Automotive Be a Hero sales event. Go to Hosford's Automotive today and drive away like a hero with up to $35,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. Pay just 10% VAT. Yo, just 10% VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. 0 down payment. That's right. Absolutely 0 down payment. And much, much more. Drive away like a hero from Hosford's Be a Hero sales event. The biggest, most heroic sales event ever in the Federation. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Good morning and welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Azem, featuring Jade, Gwen, Idita, CPL Johnson. Yay! But Jade.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let's just do a time check for everyone listening. It's now 9:04 and it is Monday, October 11th. Alright. But Jade, I think you had something that you wanted to talk about concerning the boobies.
Yes, so it's Boobies Month.
Yes.
It is Boobies Month. October is Breast Cancer Month, as we all know, and there will be a breast screening at the Prime Health Medical on Keon Street, October 12th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Free T-shirt and refreshments. So go check on the boobies.
Actually, I don't cut no style, you know. Don't cut no style. Go get the boobies screened. It's very important.
Yes.
The early detection goes a long way. Yeah, it goes a long way. So, yeah, make it a little girls trip.
Yes,
you and your girlfriends. Yeah, you and your girlfriends go on and get screened.
And then have a mimosa after.
A mimosa.
Yeah.
Oh, that is such a Sex in the City type move.
No, that's Cosmopolitans.
Oh,
mimosas.
Right. My bad.
My God.
My
so
bad.
uncultured.
Yes, I apologize for being such a prude. But Jade,
yes.
Speaking of going out and get checked, let's give the COVID-19 situation report.
This is the updated one? As of Saturday, yeah, updated enough.
As of Saturday, 9th October,
Oy.
2021. I still got a feeling these numbers here don't change. I gotta go back and check it.
I think that
they just give random numbers.
I think that
this one says 555.
Okay, let me check the last one. Let me check the one before. Nothing that is updated.
It'll be like 776.
Hold on.
But
see, the one before that was 554.
They aren't. Be on to them.
Be
on to them.
You don't know what boobies mean?
Yes, I see boobies. Breast.
Boobs.
Yeah.
The things that women have in front of them that y'all love to look at.
I was thinking more of them as sustenance for our young ones. That's what I was thinking about.
All of us saying our young ones.
Yeah, but that's what they do for.
Yeah.
Mammary glands. So okay.
You're supposed to know.
I understand the term, but no, it does not. It does not sound better.
At all.
But yeah, guys, let's go through the situation report. Confirmed cases in the last 24 hours, 42.
This is as of Saturday.
This is a Saturday,
Yes.
right? Total number of cases now stands at 2,403. The active cases right now are at 1,076. Recovered cases is making a big comeback, and they now stand at 1,308. Now, the number of cases in St. Kitts is actually very reminiscent of a fun time in my life.
Same.
2010.
Same.
And the number of cases in Nevis now stands at 393. Unfortunately, we have experienced a few more deaths as a result of the virus, and that now stands at 19.
You know what's funny? Last week to now, I think we've had. And when I say funny, I don't mean funny, haha, at all. I think last week we were at. Let me just go back.
Jade, we're averaging one a day. That's really.
And nobody is well, let me don't say nobody is concerned. I don't know, man. Like, I don't.
I abused last week, so if you want to take it away, you could go ahead.
No, I feel like you did a really good job of expressing our frustration, because for me, right, people talking about, oh, well, it's just, people going to die and it's only 19 people. Okay, now tell me which 19 people in your life you would want to lose to COVID. Since it's just 19 people, line up the 19 people that you would like to die from COVID in your family, your close friends, anybody that you know. Let me see the 19 that you have. Because if y'all think that 19 is just a small number, compare it to your own life and tell me if it's going to have the same impact.
I think a lot of times is, and again, one of the things that's been frustrating for me with this entire pandemic is the fact that when we have certain conversations, it seems as though we take the humanity out of the conversation, so it becomes statistics. It's only 0.1%.
No, it's not.
No, it's people's dads, people's uncles, people's fathers, people's mothers, people's brothers, people's employers, people's friends.
Yeah, trust me, y'all don't.
Yeah,
y'all ain't gonna understand until it hits home, and I think that's the scary thing. Like y'all really won't understand until it's somebody close to you, is your father, or your mom, or your uncle, or your friend. Like,
unfortunately, there's some people who that's what it takes, or even themselves, meaning they get sick and recognize that, like, hey, perhaps I needed to be a bit more cautious about how I was operating and how I was. And one of the things that I said this from the start of this pandemic, when we started the show actually. I said if you were to design a virus to take out the human race, this would be the exact blueprint to do it. Make sure that some people don't get too sick. Make sure some people don't get sick at all. Make sure some people just get really, really sick, and unfortunately some people pass. If you don't affect everybody the same way, then the response is different. I tell her already, if this thing was one of them things where it was a death sentence to get, the world would have done eradicate this a long time. The world would have done eradicate this one time. If this was one of them things, when you get it, we know.
If you think people out here doing the best as they possibly can, you're sadly mistaken.
Let's go on Facebook.
Just walk the town on a Friday afternoon. Go down to the terminal on a Friday night.
Give me a break, man.
And tell me if you think people doing the best that they possibly can.
Give me a break, man.
Anyway, I tired of talking about COVID today. We've done it for 11 minutes.
But yeah, so guys, again, continue to be safe, continue to make wise decisions, continue to. And I think that's the last thing I can say about this today, at least, is all these talks and these classes that people are falling into. Like people think there is one or two classes. No, it's not. There's a lot of variables, right? There's a lot of variables around why people feel the way they feel about the virus, right? Some people might just be misinformation, distrust of the government and health. Some people might be literal fear about their own health and what they're putting in their body. Some people, it might just be, you know, whether they believe in vaccinations, this particular vaccine or that. All those categories for me, they don't matter. Personally, they don't matter. To me, people fall into one of two categories. The people that understand the threat and are responding responsibly to the threat, right? Meaning you're doing the protocols, you're aware of your surroundings and moving accordingly. And the people who just feel like, whatever.
What will be?
Like to me, those are the two categories. It don't matter if you're vaxxed, unvaxxed. Like them things don't matter. Are you respectful? Do you believe that the thing exists? I got people who still don't believe it exists.
By 5G. Listen, what are they? We got to go back over the conspiracy. Y'all tell me 5G is what causing this, you know? Y'all sat on Facebook and told us, y'all should be ashamed of y'all. I'm going to shame y'all until I forget about this. Y'all literally sat on Facebook and said that phone polls erected by phone companies are causing a virus that has killed over 600,000 people.
Anyway, like I said, guys, for me, it fall into one of two categories. Do you believe and then operate and behave? Say, come on to action for me. What are your actions at the end of the day? Are you trying to be responsible? Are you trying to give the respect that it deserves and trying to protect you and your loved ones? Or are you not? That's really where it comes down to me. I don't care who vaxxed, unvaxxed. Them things don't matter to me personally. You understand?
Me. Just once y'all do.
But are you responsible in your behavior, right? So I'm just asking people to continue to be as responsible as can be. Make the decisions that are best for you and your family, but make decisions that prove that you understand the severity of the situation that we're in. If you continue to make decisions and act in a way that proves that for some reason you don't have a clear understanding of the situation, and that's what I keep talking about, like the information about vaccination and things, and people want to make it about that and my thing. Do you believe that this is something that we have to give respect to and operate in a way that keeps us safe? Then just do that. However you choose, but we have to do that. There must be some place that we could come to common ground and what that means, right? But so guys, be safe, okay?
Yeah. Anyway, the world is healing as Miami had carnival and there was all kind of tobacco.
That's right. I usually go to Miami carnival. I wasn't going away. I didn't work out that this carnival here was going to be at another level.
This was like the test one. This was like, listen, things have to happen in order for you to know if you know where we're at. Like you have to have tests, you have to have gauges, you know. You have to have people going first. And I don't think it was 100% bad, but there were some things that I saw that made me feel like we're getting back to normal. Because if you don't have a carnival where people cussing about the costumes, the quality, having to stand outside for hours to get into fets and stuff, are we really getting back to normal without these things?
Back to normal means also some of the things that might have been a bit frustrating. That's what you're saying. Right. I got
My
you.
heart smiled when I saw people's frustration about carnival.
It's like, oh, this is so familiar.
Oh my God.
Look, let me tell you something, right? A friend of mine traveled from Canada, British Heritage, gone down there. As a matter of fact, the reason why he even messaged me is because you're accustomed to know. But where are you going? Where are you working?
Mm-hmm.
So he hit me up. I was like, boss, I'm in St. Kitts. I will stay here. Right? He said, well, I'm trying to figure out what fets to go to and thing. Now, normally I might could get him into one or two, which is where they hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes, I'm going to this particular fete. It look good. I said, boss, stay away from that fete here. Stay away from that fete there.
Did he listen?
No.
Of course not.
Give the people me credit card information. I tell him already, I even tell him I want him, I say, pay with PayPal.
So I could just...
Because PayPal, you could go to them, it's easy to just tell them, hey, me ain't get what I want, me ain't get what honey, and
Send me
PayPal.
back the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Didn't do that.
Bye.
Then messaging me about he by the venue, and it's he and about 600 people, and nothing else.
This the event that took 6 hours for people to get inside?
No, the event didn't happen, Jade. Like, when people was at the venue, like, everybody checking, like, oh, we got the right address. And it's just the hall, and, like, the security guard asked them, what are you doing here?
Well, then, yeah, that's a different level there. Like, I saw people complaining that they literally had to spend 6 hours outside waiting to get into an event.
Yeah.
Y'all got patience. Let me tell you why. Me waiting 6 hours for nothing. If something's supposed to start at 12, right? And they start at 1, I get home.
See, it's a little different.
As them 6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours kind of crazy. But what's happening is that you wait anything, you're alone, everybody there, you come from wherever you come from. Mm-hmm. Because that's kind of what happened with this carnival too, right? Which is why I thought it was going to be very interesting. You have people coming from all over the world going to Miami because they have been denied the ability to fet in their own homelands. And so I knew that this carnival was just going to be, it's like, remember after school, like when we was in high school, they used to have these events, call them exam revenge. So after exam, the school might put on, maybe the graduation committee or somebody might put on a party, call it exam revenge, or like a different promoter might put it on. And for some reason, people just ready to let loose. Miami Carnival was COVID revenge. And I just kept telling my friends who were there, I just kept telling them, be safe, you guys be safe, be safe. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Like, I saw, unfortunately, they had some traffic accidents, and oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was crazy. I know. I've there was a big Kittitian contingent. And big up to Rukas Echi too. Rukas Echi went up and performed at several events during the carnival. That was a good look for not only for him but for us here. Wish we could have seen more and more artists going out and performing, because things ain't happening here, guys. Things ain't happening here. Where y'all ain't heading out? Where y'all ain't heading out? And I know y'all saying easier said than done, but who cares if it's easy or not? You just gotta get done. Whether it's hard or not, you gotta get it done. So here we had a bunch of Kittitians who went up there. I think what's gonna happen is people are waiting to see the aftermath. We've had several situations where after festivals and stuff like that, we see a rise in cases and spikes. I think for this though, it's gonna be a little different, because most of the people went there from somewhere else. So you had people from all the different islands. You had people from all over the US, Caribbean heritage. You had people who just was looking for something the Bachelors to be involved in, and just went there. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how that plays out. Like I said, I kept for the most part, the persons I saw from St. Kitsu out, had on the mask, and social distancing is impossible. Like, nobody could even think that was going to be possible. So, keeping on the mask. Some events had restrictions in terms of you had to be vaccinated. Some of them you had to do rapid tests before entering. I was speaking to one artist who told me he anticipates having to do 8. He was anticipating having to do 8 tests between him leaving his country and going up, and the tests he had to do to enter events. And I said about some of the events that I was telling him I have a friend who is an artist, and he was telling me he anticipates he'll have to do 8 tests between him leaving to go to Miami Carnival and getting back home. Right, because some of the events you had to be tested prior to. Even some of them they had rapid tests. So there's a lot happening.
Why would I travel to Carnival and then do it? It is a lot, boy. But I mean, it's money.
But he working.
I guess, boy.
But I was telling them that I think that Miami Carnival should just be termed, well, this year's Carnival should just be termed COVID Revenge. Just like we got Exam Revenge, this is like COVID Revenge.
Listen, when I tell her, right, the first Carnival, if we ever get back to a Carnival, we're definitely having Carnival again, in the capacity that we had it before, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Y'all going to scrape me up off the road, you know. I'm going to let you. Y'all going to literally have to come with a wheelbarrow and pick me up off the middle of 4th Street and take me home. Because I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know when we're going.
You don't know when they're going to be, but
I just know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Before warned.
Okay. Well, friend, if you need me, well, you can call me. So just set up with me ahead of time.
Yeah, man.
Because
you're going to know where I'm going to be. I tell you, I'm in the middle.
In the middle?
Right by our band house. Right by the Majesty Band House. Where Miss Paula Heiliger used to live.
Just in the middle of the road, yeah?
Right outside the door.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
And I shall not be moving.
I shall not be moved. Just like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Wow. But yeah, Jade, I think there's a lot of people. I saw a lot of people from here who went up. People from all the islands, because people were just trying. Like, this was the one place to go get it.
Oh my God! Because imagine
Labor Day didn't come off, or we were supposed to come off, so this was it.
Carnival. One thing Caribbean people love is Carnival, okay? And for you to be able to just get a little something, they're going to go.
But yeah.
I was looking at all the costumes, right?
The battery was on full display.
Boy.
But yeah.
Boy. Y'all look good. And we could tell that y'all been waiting for Carnival to come back because y'all looked good. Not going to lie. I was so proud to see y'all in y'all costumes. Big up. What's the mask? Lux. Yes, I saw Lux had a mask troupe in Miami and they looked wonderful in their green and other colors. I loved it. It reminded me of what we used to have here. Yes. Reminded me of a time not so long ago.
Yeah, pretty much, Witty. Pretty much.
These people love Carnival more than the feared COVID. Well,
yep.
Some of the events weren't vaccination only and all of these things.
Witty's comment still stands.
No, well, yeah.
Witty's comment still stands.
I'm just saying, I'm sure they just took, look, just, costume me.
Yeah.
I missed the my back piece hurting me, my shoulders, and my beads digging into my skin. Sweet pain. Sweet pain.
Okay. I'm just gonna move on. On that note.
I said what I said, and I'm not taking it back.
Yes, well, you're correct. But anyway, this is vaccine talk. But actually, as a matter of fact, it ain't COVID.
Oh,
it's not COVID.
Don't do it.
It's not COVID.
Don't.
But
do it
this is one of the things that I am now very concerned about. The fact that because of the way that the whole COVID vaccine situation being handled, I think that people are digging their heels in and falling down on a side of the fence or one side of the fence, and that's just kind of what it's going to be. And it's going to play over into other areas of life. So, for instance, the World Health Organization actually approved malaria vaccine for children. Now, question is, why is this a big deal?
Is this needed?
The WHO recommended its first malaria vaccine for children on October 6, 2021, a breakthrough hailed by the UN agency as a historic moment. Approval of the RTS-AS01 vaccine, which goes by the name Mosquirix. Them man know that they sound very close, they look and sound very close to mosquito.
Wait, I mean...
I don't understand it's for malaria, but really and truly.
It's fitting.
No,
it's fitting
you try to get it as far away from mosquitoes as possible.
No, it reminds you of the thing that they're trying to protect against.
Oh, okay.
You get it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't just call it malaria gone. But anyway. Provides, so they say it provides a glimmer of hope for Africa, according to Dr. Moeti, who is the World Health Regional Director for Africa. It will now be rolled out to protect children against one of the world's oldest and most deadly diseases. Malaria and global children health expert Dr. Laufer answered the conversation's questions about the vaccine and the World Health Organization's announcement. And it says, first question was, what has the World Health Organization announced? And it says they recommended the use of the malaria vaccine, which is produced by GlaxoSmithKline. It is the first malaria vaccine to be recommended by the global health body.
Oh.
It follows a review of 2 years of piloting studies of the vaccine in 3 sub-Saharan African countries with a high burden of malaria: Malawi, Kenya, and Ghana. So it follows a review of 2 years. See, them is the kind of things when you say them things. After careful evaluation and extensive discussion, the World Health Organization came to the consensus that the vaccine should be recommended for use in children living in areas of moderate to high malaria burden. Why is this seen as a major development? Malaria kills hundreds of thousands of children, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, every year. This is the first time that researchers, vaccine manufacturers, policymakers, and advocates have successfully delivered a vaccine that has made it through clinical trials and received not only regulatory approval, but also a recommendation from the World Health Organization. First time. The vaccine prevents about 30% of severe malaria cases that are more likely to lead to death. Although researchers knew that RTS was effective in well-controlled clinical trials, a few questions remained about whether it was feasible for sub-Saharan African countries to safely roll out the 4-dose vaccine in real-world setting.
4?
But since 2019, the malaria vaccine implementation program in Malawi, Kenya, and Ghana has shown excellent vaccine uptake and a good safety profile. To date, the vaccine has been administered to around 800,000 children in those 3 countries.
Good things.
And of course, we know that malaria has been a very deadly disease, especially among children. And one of the questions that was asked that I guess persons would be interested in was, why did it take so long to develop a vaccine? And the answer that was given was a lack of political will to develop a malaria vaccine certainly played a role in why it took so long. With no real market for malaria vaccine in resource-rich countries like the US, pharmaceutical companies did not have a strong financial incentive to accelerate vaccine development. But the malaria parasite is also very complex, and the targets of the immune system are diverse. So developing an effective vaccine wasn't easy.
So basically, right, one thing that's the one thing stood out to me in that is what I've been saying to a lot of people when they ask about COVID vaccine. And I'm not trying to talk about COVID again, but they said that the reason that it wasn't developed in a timely fashion is because the interest and the monetary gain wasn't there. Now you ask why the COVID vaccine was developed so fast. When a disease affects everybody, including the rich, the powerful, down to the small man, they put some fire on getting it together. If COVID just used to affect poor countries and third world countries as they think, y'all think we would have had a vaccine? No. Y'all would have just got to figure it out. Literally, that's what it is. Y'all would have just had to figure it out, because this wasn't a disease that affected people's money and affected the rich and powerful. But because COVID ain't here, Vaccine is here.
Jade be rapping.
Yeah, man, I got a little bars, you know.
Bars.
But that just, boy, y'all got hell, you know. All these people would have been thinking like this.
Jade with the condemnation.
No, for true. If hell is a real place, y'all going for sure. Y'all really didn't develop a vaccination for malaria that has been killing kids because it doesn't affect. Anyway.
Yeah, money is a real thing.
Yep.
Money is a real thing, and it impacts everything. All decisions that people be making. Yeah. Jade, you want us on the 9:30 ads and come back?
Yeah, let's do that. Please.
Let's do that.
Yes. What am I looking for? Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, man.
Well, guys, now that Jade's ready, we're going to actually take a short commercial break and be right back right here with Media SKN with more Island Tea. Stay tuned and stay locked, guys.
Feel the magic happening. Campari. Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea, right here on With Media SKN with your faves, Kevin and Azem featuring Jade, Gwen, Idita, CPL, Gwenisha, Johnson, Will Thompson apparently.
Bye, I got it to hear it. That's a Miss Jade Thompson. I don't know who she is, but it says Win FM Radio, Science Complex, morning tea program. I don't know what that is either. I'm assuming it's mine. And it's from Nevis.
From Nevis? Wow. It's a love letter. Don't read it on there. It's a love letter.
May I read all.
Why people, when they send you these things, they don't sign it?
I know. I just supposed to guess who it's from.
Okay.
But it's basically about...
Don't even. Yeah, don't even. But guys...
I have a sneaking suspicion that the person who wrote this letter is going to call the show.
No.
Yep. Answer the phone.
Answer the phone? I bet not.
I bet $1.
$1. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. By chance, were you the one who sent the letter?
Oh, see that hang up.
Good morning, caller. We are live on Island T. What's up?
Maybe one. But I hear say, right? I think the vaccine hesitancy, right, is because they have a good successful rate, a survival, right? Because if this was Ebola, right, the amount of people that don't take the vaccine would have hurt. This is in regards to what you were saying earlier. Right.
Yeah, definitely that might be part of it, yeah. Well, we see it already. Yeah, we see it already. Like I said.
We understand even if you have such a high survival rate, there's other things that come with COVID. Like there's things that
long-term COVID.
Your body literally isn't the same for a lot of people after having COVID. Like there's your lungs don't work the same. Your heart ain't the same.
Yeah.
Some people still can't smell or taste.
Yeah.
Months after. Okay, I deal with that then. Right?
People watching the fact that some people don't even have nothing at all.
Okay, well, since y'all know what's gonna happen to y'all body, by all means.
Yeah. Anyway. But this thing getting real and real tense, because it's been affecting so many different areas of life, right? That it's really becoming the thing that defines every conversation that you have, right?
Even when you don't want to. Yes.
A few weeks ago, it was Teachers' Day, right? It was Teachers' Day. And that has been causing, well, not the fact that it's Teachers' Day, but teachers have been causing a bit of a disruption in a few of the islands, including SVG, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the Prime Minister asked teachers not to abandon students for 3 days.
He could ask what he wants.
So this new school term began in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on October 4th with online learning, and already there are issues as the SVG Teachers Union declared that educators will refrain from online teaching for 3 days in October. Today was the first day for withholding online learning, and the other dates given are October 11th and 14th. Yep.
Oh.
The decision was taken following a virtual general meeting to discuss the government's recent COVID-19 vaccination mandate. The union said the meeting of 183 members also decided to file an injunction against the government. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who expressed his disappointment during his face-to-face radio program, appealed to teachers to rethink this position.
Hold on. I said that didn't make sense. You said a face-to-face radio.
No, that's the name of the program.
Oh, because I'm like...
I think the name of his program is face-to-face. Like how we have working for you, and we have.
No, I just.
What the other one is what hours is? It happens on Tuesdays.
Leadership Matters.
Leadership Matters. Yeah. So I think
That's a stupid name. Face to face, and you can't see anyway. You guys.
He probably was there before COVID.
It's a radio show, as him.
But he streams it.
All right.
All right. So. And these are the words of the Prime Minister. He says, you can't abandon your students at a time like this. You can't compromise their safety. You can't compromise their education. Gonsalves said he understands that the decision to not do online teaching for 3 days is a form of protest against teachers being classified as frontline workers and as such are required to get vaccinated. You want to hold the country ransom? What is so difficult about taking the vaccine, the PM chided. He said teachers are in fact frontline workers and that he was hoping they would get vaccinated voluntarily. But the numbers are below 1/3. Gonzalez noted that he received a letter from the teachers union proposing that the cost for testing be done by teachers every 2 weeks be borne by the state because teachers have not received a salary increase for an extended period of time. He said the answer to that is for teachers to take the vaccine barring medical or religious grounds for exemption. Another proposal given by the union is that all teachers be required to present a negative PCR test upon entry to schools, as the science has shown that both vaccinated and unvaccinated can contract and transmit the coronavirus. The Prime Minister believes it's erroneous to equate the vaccinated and unvaccinated in relation to the PCR test. The third proposal from the union is that the state accepts liability for an adverse reaction or death as a result of the vaccination. Now, this is one of the things that when people talk to me about their hesitancy, that's the one thing. That's one of the things I can.
Makes sense.
That's one of the things that I could definitely see, right? I mean, in some countries you have to sign a waiver, like if anything happened, then thing. In some countries you have people dropping them from the insurance and them kind of things. Yeah? So I understand the concerns there. But let's see what Gonzalez said in relation to this actual proposal. Gonzalez said he will respond to the union in writing and take the matter before the cabinet. The Prime Minister continues to appeal to teachers to take the vaccine and not wait until the regulations in the Public Health Amendment Bill come into force.
Okay, so one, you can't that response to them saying that they haven't had an increase in forever is like so disheartening. Because why would you hear them say, well, you want me to do all of these things, you want me to get vaccinated against my will, because clearly the reason it's so low is because the teachers don't want to do it. Can't force people to do it. You want them to do all these things, but you can't even pay them a proper wage for the work that they're doing, but you want them to continue doing the work because you want them to do it. I think we don't realize that's not how life works. People have choices.
I think the problem is he understands that's how life works and people have choices. I think that's the problem here. I think that's the actual problem. That's the actual problem right there. Like, you could choose to, because his position is, okay, well, you could choose to either work here or don't work here. That's really what's going on here.
Yeah, what's so wrong? But if you realize the value in teachers, if you know teachers are so important and kids need them and all of these things, well, you can't pay them a proper wage.
I don't see that's the thing. I don't know if his position is that they're not getting paid a proper wage. This is the teachers union's position was that there's a cost associated with the test. So if you're giving me an option where I can either be vaccinated or present a negative PCR test, right? Mm-hmm. Then the cost of the test should be on the government, right? Mm-hmm. That's their position. And to support that argument, they said, y'all didn't even give us an increase, so you can't expect us to get the money to pay this. Now, that is one of the things that I have an issue with here, and a lot of the countries around, is that access to testing, because there's a cost to it, automatically disenfranchises people from a certain economic, socio-economic background, right? So it.
Listen, that's 250, right?
Is there any way anybody in St. Kitts gets free test?
I don't know, but I hope so, because
if you go to the hospital or wherever, like the test free?
I don't know, Azim.
Somebody tell us that. Is there a way for you to get free test in St. Kitts?
Because I know that there are people who directly cannot afford to get tested.
That's what I'm telling you.
It is literally up to.
I mean, even talking about in response to a mandate from the employer,
no,
just this regular,
on a regular,
like I feel flourish. Up and down, publish should get tested, but we eventually ain't got the money. Yeah, we ain't got the money. Yeah.
It's literally.
That is a big issue.
You
huge
getting
issue.
Tested, or you paying your rent? You getting tested, or you having food to to feed your family. You can't, like, please, I hope there's a way for people to get, like, exempts.
I had this conversation, and I didn't know the answer, so I was like, I wonder, I really
don't know
wonder.
the answer.
I always thought that you could have. Okay, so yes, so that's what I thought. If you're highlighted as a contact for a positive case, I think you get tested for free. I think that's when the bus comes out of whatever the case work out with you, how you're gonna get tested or whatever.
But suppose that you know you're feeling sick, but you really can't afford it. Is there any forms that would give you like an exemption, like anything at all? Any programs?
Not as far as I know. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the only way. I think it's only if you're listed as a contact.
That is wild.
So I think the concern about the cost of testing is a real one.
No, it is definitely.
Is a real one.
Testing cheap.
Right. So when it comes to situations where somebody is given a choice, which one of the options is to constantly get tested or get tested at a frequent rate in order to be able to work or to enter here or to go there, whatever.
And the cost
that automatically eliminates that option for persons in a from a certain economic background or a certain income bracket.
You're already struggling before COVID, without COVID, and now you got to go figure out how you're going to find money to take a test, and you probably have to test your whole family because you're around them, and y'all just don't. Oh boy.
So what do you think? What do you think happening? And not only that, I think this is actually also happening in Guyana, where you have teachers protesting the mandate. What do you think this going? What do you think going to happen here?
Some teachers are going to give in, but I feel like some are going to hold firm, and I don't know what they're going to do. They might be replaced.
Well, I think.
If there's a.
I think what's important is bear in mind that these positions aren't being held by individuals. This is the union.
Yeah.
The union is a union who are taking these positions. I think that creates a whole different dynamic as opposed to if there was a subset of persons who had an issue with the mandate and decide me ain't going to work today and no, this is the decision of the union. So they're going in court.
Yep.
They're going in court for sure.
Definitely. Did any of our unions take this type of stand and stick to it? Not just say it on Facebook and then.
No, but we have not really had many mandates. We've had private entities who have had mandates. The one that was interesting for me was the hospitality workers. It seemed as though that didn't have a lot of.
Let me tell you something.
It's almost like people recognize, like, okay, that makes sense. Like, to me, that's what it felt like.
As a lot of them didn't.
No, a lot of the people who in the field.
I know, that's what I'm telling you.
I think generally people were just kind of like, well.
Oh, because then a lot of people who in the field still didn't.
Yeah.
That was like, you can say what you want.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. But, shoot, I had a thought just now.
We are talking about unions and, yeah.
Yeah, so I recently saw that they were saying that, that there's no need for a mandate here because our vaccination rates are so high that they don't see the need for it.
Who is they?
I saw it on hold on.
So the person was saying that they don't see the need for it?
No.
This person ain't a health official?
Yes, they are. Okay, I think Dr. Wilkinson is trying to call us. We'll try to call us in a second.
If you don't name Dr. Wilkinson, don't call the phone.
Please. Where did I see? Okay. Well, we wait on Dr. Wilkinson, right? Okay, let me see. Oh, never mind.
Good morning. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning. I assume this is my friend Azim?
Yes, sir. Morning.
And the lovely Jade is sitting next to you?
Yep, I'm here.
And Kevin is there virtually?
Not today.
Not today. So how you all doing?
As well as I can be.
I'm good.
So I'm just joining the conversation, and I just thought that I would chip in and make a couple comments. And if you have any questions, I think that you can ask them of me. But just to state, number one, in terms of the vaccination program, we are pushing ahead. And in terms of the adults, we have 69.3% of the adults who are fully vaccinated. And it's only a matter of time before we would reach 70%, which is a significant record. And we also have 76.7% of adults with one shot, which means that the 80% target that the Prime Minister spoke of in December, it is a reality. In that when I did the calculations yesterday, we just needed to reach about 1,093 persons. And this means that if the persons who are vaccinated were to form groups of 23 persons just need to come together and bring one person in to be vaccinated, and we would reach the 80% mark. And so you can see how doable that is. We have also started the education programs in the schools where we are having PTA meetings, most of them virtually, to answer questions that parents may have. And after the PTA meetings, dates are being set for the parents with their children or with a consent. They can take their child into the health center. For example, we had a meeting with the Charles E. Mills Secondary School, and the date that is set for them is the 12th of this month, which I think is tomorrow. And we have a number of others that are set for this during the week coming up. But it's important for parents to know that they don't need to wait for those dates. They can take their children in at their convenience, and we know that the clinics are open 7 days a week now. You just need to find out the exact schedules on Saturday and Sunday. So that's good news there. Any questions regarding that?
Well, yeah, I think one of the things that kind of confuse people is when we say that we are at like 69 point whatever percent, that is of the target, right? Not of the entire adult population.
This is of the adult population because the adult population over the age of 18 is 33,037. And so we have vaccinated 69.3% of that 33,037.
Okay. See, I think that's been one of the topics for debate back and forth, whether that number is a percentage of the overall population or of the target that we were trying to get to. So I guess that's where the issue is.
Yes. Well, it actually so happened that in our case, right, 70% of the population is actually adult. And so those figures were the same. They may not be the same for every single country, but 70% of the population of St. Kitts and Nevis is 18 and above.
All right, understood. Oh, yeah. So we were discussing a while ago the availability of testing, though. Recognizing that most of the options available for testing come at a cost, and we're wondering what are any either free cases where somebody would be able to get tested for free, if that existed, or is there any subsidized testing available, recognizing that the price may be a barrier for persons who are from a certain income bracket?
Well, that is not necessarily so, in that the Ministry of Health has attempted at all times to remove barriers for access to health care. And so, yes, there are private labs, but persons can come to the hospital and be tested, even if they will be billed. The billing will occur after, if they don't have the funds up front. And so no one is going to be turned back from being tested if there's a suspected case of COVID-19, etc., because of finance. And so if you think about all of the contact tracing that we've been doing, even with the schools and things like that, we don't go and say, okay, there were 40 children in this school, but we only testing 20 because only 20 can pay. That doesn't happen at all. Okay, we don't.
I think my question was more like, so if I'm identified as a contact of a positive case and I get tested, let's say I go to the hospital and get tested, is there a cost associated with that? To me personally.
Well, there's a cost associated with everything, okay? And so,
no, that's why I said personally. I know somebody have to pay. I wonder if as the person who got to pay.
Yes, and so an assessment is done. So when you go to the emergency room with any condition, you will be looked after, okay? There's a bill that is made, and if you have insurance, you can pay to the insurance. If you can pay out of pocket, you'll pay out of pocket. If you don't have the financing, there are social services services that we have to address some of those things, but there is no financial barrier to you getting the service. And so it's the same thing with COVID-19. There's not going to be any sign up saying free COVID testing, but there is no barrier to you having the COVID test.
Okay. So there's no instances.
And so it is false to say that there are persons who would have to choose between testing and eating.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I didn't understand. Because to me it seems as though you're saying that there's a cost. The cost you might not have to pay the cost up front, but you may get a bill.
Yes, and you may not have to pay it at all, but I'm just saying.
Oh, you may not have to pay. So maybe we need to educate people as to those options, because I'm telling you, there are people who may not understand the process and may see that as a. For instance, you would understand that even when we were talking about some places mandating vaccines or requiring negative PCR tests, they would say at the cost of the individual, right? And so these are so people have those considerations like, hey, can I pay every 2 weeks to get a test and whatever, but persons may not know of the options available to them. So maybe we need to highlight those.
And I'm going to use this opportunity to make an appeal to our NGOs also, because early on in the fight, we had NGOs like Rotary coming forward and making donations to X amount of tests for persons who could not afford to pay. Early on in the fight, at the briefings, people will come in and make donations, etc., monetary donations, and these donations were also being used to help other persons. And so this is a fight where we all have to play a part. Okay, and so we just can't depend solely on the social services catching it off the government. And so if there are persons out there who can afford to contribute to the cause, they can make that contribution also. But at the heart of everything is the vaccination process. And so I see so many persons sometimes, they might refuse to come out and get vaccinated, but then when they become infected, that's when the complaints start. And we can protect ourselves because we have to understand that the vaccine does give you some level of protection from getting COVID-19, and it gives you an additional protection from severe disease and an additional protection from death. And so we cannot overemphasize the importance of the vaccine and the protection that it gives us. And so all this talk about testing, quarantining, etc., all these arguments can go away, or they can be diminished, the effect of them, if we have a significant proportion of the population vaccinated.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think that message is something that has been, pretty much pushed out there, that the way out of the situation that we're in now is vaccination. But I
also heard at the tail end you are having a discussion about whether or not the vaccine should be mandated. I wasn't sure where that argument was going, and if you need some clarification on the position of the ministry at this point in time.
Well, we know that there's some private entities that have issued mandates, but as I said, I don't think that from the government standpoint, that there has been a mandate put forward as yet. Is that the case?
And there is no mandate from the government as yet, no. Okay, and we have to understand that no one is safe until everyone is safe, and we all have to do what we can to protect ourselves, to protect our businesses, to protect the nation. And so,
in the case of if the person's working in hospitality, where that directive comes from who? Because I think people believe that if you work in the hospitality thing, you have to be vaccinated in order to continue to work in that field. So that let's not say a mandate, but that directive comes from who?
Yes, well, I was coming to that. You understand? In my answer. So I said no one is safe until everyone is safe, and persons have to do what they can do to protect themselves at the individual level, at the business level, at the sectoral level, and government has to do what it has to do for the general population also. And so you as an individual can make decisions to protect yourself and decrease your exposure. A private business can have directives or mandates, etc., to protect their business. And there are some sectors, for example, the tourism sector. It will defy common sense and knowledge to have a large proportion of persons coming in there unvaccinated when you're trying to protect the tourism product and decrease the risk of exposure or importation of the virus. And so those departments will have to make decisions for themselves. But the government has not imposed any mandate on the people at this point in time. And the point that the Minister Phipps was trying to make is that at the regional level, when we're having discussions, there are countries that are considering mandates to see if they can push their vaccination coverage from, say, 20% to 50% or 60%. And we have been able to mobilize our persons and achieve a very high vaccination rate by speaking to persons and encouraging them to come out following the science and get vaccinated. And so the point that was being made at this point in time, there was no reason for a broad government mandate, and we continue to see if we can push persons in the right direction through reasoning and logic and showing them the science and the benefits of the vaccine and continue to push forward. I don't know if a point in time will come when certain sectors might have to have some sort of directive to increase the coverage so that they can continue to function without interruption. But we continue the fight.
Yeah, well, I guess we see where it goes. It seems as though you guys at the, involved in the decision-making process, the task force, the Ministry of Health and so forth, seem to be somewhat pleased with the way the vaccine program has been going. So hopefully, you guys achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve.
Yes, and as I said, it is us. We all in this together, and we can do it by ourselves. I've said on this program before that we don't have a monopoly on ideas. We don't have a monopoly on suggestions. We don't have a monopoly on the education program. And so that's why I always encourage you all to continue with the education process that you do on a regular basis on your program, because you'd be surprised there are persons who would have come forward and gotten vaccinated from hearing you speak or from hearing Jade speak. And so everyone has a platform, and if you have a platform and you're concerned about the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and you know that the vaccines are safe and effective, you should send a clear and unambiguous message that this vaccine will save lives. This vaccine will prevent you from having severe disease and being hospitalized. My heart gets hurt many times when I see the results of positive cases coming in, and many of them sometimes are persons who I would have pleaded with, and they only realized the folly in their ways after they were named as a contact or after they found out that they were infected. And the science, the data has shown that the majority of persons who have succumbed to disease, these are persons who are unvaccinated. It is also shown that the majority of persons who have succumbed to disease are persons with pre-existing conditions. And there is this false narrative that if you have a bad heart, if you have high blood pressure, if you have kidney problems, you are not strong enough to take the vaccine and you need to get a letter from your doctor. That is not so at all. These are the persons who, if they get infected, they may not survive. And I want you to help me to spread that message also, because I know that you understand it clearly, because I have heard you articulate it on many times on your program.
All right, man. Well, we'll see what we could do, yeah? Because, I mean, we're at a place now where, you know, everybody just wants to see some sort of movement in a positive direction out of this crisis, out of this pandemic. So,
and we have been moving in a positive direction. If you look at from where we came from and where we are heading, I would say we went from a situation last year where from one case we had to lock down the entire country to where we slowly opened up. We had a 14-day quarantine period. We moved to a 9 and a 7. Now we have almost what can be called enter, test and release, because that's basically what it is. We have been able to control our hospitalizations. The death was inevitable, okay, but the numbers are still low. That is in the hands of us, the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, by going out and getting vaccinated to protect ourselves from severe disease and death. We are moving forward with the opening of the country. We are going through a wave like everyone else, and so yes, we will have positive cases, but the majority of persons are being managed outside of the hospital, and I believe that as a country, we have fared well in this pandemic, and we can continue to fare well if we get more persons to come out and get vaccinated. And so my appeal right now to the remaining adults who are unvaccinated, for them to come out. For those persons, parents and guardians of children between the age of 12 to 18, we have the Pfizer vaccine that is safe and effective, and I want you to bring your children out to get vaccinated today. Don't hesitate to come out and get vaccinated.
All right, Dr. Wilkinson, you always appreciate when you take the time to call in and chat with us a little bit right here on Island Tea. Big friend of the show. Thank you so much.
Okay. And Jade, I don't know whether you went to sleep, because I didn't hear your voice at all once I called in, but I hope you're still there. I wish you all the best.
No, I'm just here listening. I'm still here, man.
Okay. Okay, bye, man. Nice chatting with you all.
Bye.
Okay.
Well, yeah, guys. Yeah, Dr. Wilkinson, friend of the show. I was listening. Appreciate him calling and answering some questions. We have some more questions, so you may reach out to you again, but you know, I love the fact that you're always open and willing and able to hit us up with some answers when we need them. But Jade, time is fast spent.
Yes, we went a little overtime today. We apologize for that, but you know, Dr. Wilkinson was talking, and we don't like to interrupt the good doctor.
Indeed.
So now that is done, all calls can be forwarded till tomorrow, because we're going home. Yes, stop calling. Until tomorrow, anyway. But yes, so tomorrow we'll be talking to the West Indies. You know, they're in T20 right now while getting ready.
So cricket team, you keep...
I was getting to that. They are preparing...
Jade gonna be here telling me, tomorrow we're talking to the West Indies. And I saw last. When we talking to the West Indies, like
the West Indies cricket team who are preparing to battle in T20.
The World Cup.
Yes.
The World Cup coming
shortly.
up. Mm-hmm.
Bro, them games so early, right? I got to wake up.
Hey, wait a minute, they're playing in India?
Yeah, but Dubai.
Dubai.
I got to wake up because I know like they're 6 o'clock and stuff in the morning. But you know, as Caribbean people, we up early anyway. And a little bit of cricket never hurts nobody.
Cable gonna be putting them on Channel 95?
Yeah, better.
Cable, sort out there yourself. Yeah.
Please, I have games to watch. But anywho, yes, look out for that tomorrow.
How can I shove them down in Latin America?
Me want to see that.
No.
Me want to see that. And then on Wednesday, I think we have some people from the Mental Health Association, because it is Mental Health Week, as him.
It is.
Yes, make sure your mentals are together.
That ship I sail, girl.
Bye. Same. Mine right now, hanging on by a thread. But maybe when they come, I could ask them who I could speak to. Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who need somebody to talk to.
Boy, and right now I'm one. So we'll work it out on Wednesday.
Yeah, but guys, it's been amazing. Thank you for joining us this morning. Those of you who joined us on Facebook, YouTube, and Win Media SKN, if you logged on to us on the radio or on Win Media SKN's website, thank you so much. Everybody who joins the conversation, all the callers, all the commenters, all the people who ain't want nobody know his eyes, or they message me on my phone, I message you on your phone.
I tell her what to do. Send it to the email. Send it to the ILNT email.
The email again, Jade.
Hold on. It is ilntinfo@gmail.com. Send your questions, send your comments, send whatever y'all want us to read on the air that you're afraid to do.
And instead of like sending actual hard copied like letters, like in the mail,
and like when already.
You spend a whole 30 cents on a stamp, just send an email.
Yeah. Technology. Use it.
Yeah. So guys, it's been amazing. We're off to a good start. Wishing everybody a safe and productive week. And hopefully you do the right thing. And join us tomorrow. Y'all thought I said get vaccinated, didn't it? Join us tomorrow.
Do that if you want to as well.
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
Everyone get back to anyway. Minimum. See you. Azim, take us out.
But guys, before we go, there's one last thing we need to leave you with, and it's this small tidbit that you should take with you and hold it in your heart as you move throughout the day. Remember, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. See you guys tomorrow.